can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. And thing sucks.
Deep fried pixels.
Great, good stuff. I think people are getting really cranked.
Gentlemen. Here we are.
Frau
Here we are.
Herr Haines.
Here we are again. Here we are again, sir. We are joining for another Friday night of Deep Fried Pixels. You are not my potion keeper. What the hell is it? I can't even remember. Potion seller.
You didn't even like it. What are you even talking about?
I don't know. I tried. It makes you giggle so much. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's creepy.
Well, the problem is you're going into battle, and you need the strongest potion.
You know that guy's a director now, right?
Of what?
He's
believe it.
Accomplished
Grapefruiting videos.
Bard, I guess.
Grapefruiting.
Yeah, no. What do you call those people that playwrights? The playwrights.
He's a LARPer.
He's
Definitely a LARPer. He writes LARPing lore.
Let me get this straight. You don't take the Tony Awards seriously.
He's a LARP lore artist.
Hold on a second. Oh, I got a call here. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Nathan, how's it going? Yeah, he doesn't like the Tony Awards. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Mr.
It
Important.
was Nathan Lane, by the way. He's
You're just adding a T to the end of ego with that.
Brandon,
You don't need it.
Are you drinking a seltzer water, Brandon? Is that a seltzer water? Is that the lime?
It is called a Waterloo. It is delicious.
Oh, dude, I tried the grape of those and it just sucked.
It's not as good as LaCroix, but
No.
I'm in a pinch here, guys. Hey,
It's like that stuff sucks so bad.
Everybody
It's like
knows.
drinking water and someone whispering in your ear, lime.
It is. What it is? You just smell it. Okay.
Somebody showed a glass of water a picture of a lemon, and that's what you're drinking.
I'm getting roasted, everybody. I don't deserve this. That's more respect.
It's the placebo. It's like I'm staring at limes, drinking
type 4
water.
diabetes, the F5, any sugar.
Type 4, eh?
So I can't. You want me dead. I get it. You want me dead.
Wait, hey, it seems you were on Burger World lately, man. I was wondering what's up. You ain't fat. You ain't fat. You ain't nothing.
Yeah.
You ain't nothing.
0 sugar. I'm miserable.
Oh,
I haven't had a carb.
he hadn't been in and out in at least 2 months.
Yeah.
Shit, I wish we just had what was it? The Habit hamburger here.
What's the Habit hamburger?
They put crack cocaine in it.
Yeah.
Do they really?
You get a real bad habit afterwards. No, it's just like a hamburger place.
Comes with a little rose stem and a little grass crack pipe.
Little Biden Hunter or Hunter Biden's face on there. Dude.
He got.
Why haven't they sold those? Can we sell those? Is that still available? Can we sell Hunter Biden roses? Like, at the gas station?
That's got to be. I don't know. Craigslist might come after you for copyright infringement. They're like, hey, that's actually a recognized form of payment on our platform.
Yeah. Apparently, you have really upset Zach's cat. He doesn't like Hunter Biden whatsoever.
My cat,
he came in to let us know it.
Yeah, my cat actually has been.
He just said, check the laptop over and over again. I heard him.
He's actually grieving.
Oh.
Yeah, he's really upset.
Way to bring us down. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Hey, she was a queen.
I like your story. I like your story better. He was in here. He's like, did they get his laptop yet? Tell him to get the fucking laptop.
Lock her up.
Come here, buddy.
Brian's dream job is to be the producer on Cops or that Dan Abrams show, Police Time, or what's that show you watch all the time? Live PD.
I don't know. They changed it. It was Live PD, but like it's something. It's on what station is it on now? Is it on? Oh, I forget. It's on some new station, and it's just like the Dan Abrams station. I don't know. He's got like 4 or 5 different shows on there, but now they do like Dan Abrams Live. It's not Live PD or something like that. I forget what it's called, or Live Patrol. I think is what it's called now. and it's kind of the same thing. It's the same people too. It seems to be, but I've seen a couple episodes. It just doesn't have the zing it had before they got in trouble.
Yeah, it was always fun coming over to your house and watching it with you.
Dude, it was wild. Like when it first came on, it was absolutely wild.
And just watch it and be like, "This is crazy, man."
You know what my favorite thing was to watch, to get all blasted and watch, was Willow.
Willow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, there's a scene.
What a different end of the spectrum.
If you torch up at the beginning of Willow, by the time the guy comes running up on the horse and he's like, "Out of the way, peck," and knocks everybody out of the path, if you're not dying laughing, you need to rewind all the way and take a couple more and watch according to that.
I used to love getting really stoned and going to movies and laughing where I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
That's always really fun.
Oh yeah, Titanic. When the guy hits the propeller going down, I got raucous laughter in the theater.
I did it one time in the theater. Oh god, we were so stoned, and it was before Napoleon Dynamite actually. And I went into Napoleon Dynamite, super baked, dude. Okay, so that I will say, one of my greatest movie experiences was my mom never went to the movie theaters, right? But like for one of my birthdays, we went and saw Goonies.
Yeah.
And she came with me to see Goonies at the theater, like I don't know how old it was, like 6, I don't know, but I remember that. So that's one of my big ones. The very first movie I ever went to was Raiders, so that was in the movie theater. So that one sticks with me. But the my other one is the Napoleon Dynamite, because I didn't know anything about the movie whatsoever. I'd never heard of it. I didn't know anything about it. It was just with me and my buddy, and we were like. He was like, "Man, we should get real stoned and go see a movie." I'm like, "All right, well, what do you want to see?" And he's like, "Well, they got this movie called Napoleon Dynamite." And I'm like, well, "All right, well, I mean, I'll check it out." And, as he's dragging the He-Man character down the street, I am losing, like, I am crying, laughing, because I have no idea what I'm watching, but this is amazing. But right before it happened, I was so stoned that, like, they had this commercial at one point for like don't do drugs and drive, or I don't know what it was, like a not smoking pot commercial or whatever, but it was like these guys that were in a car pulling up to like a drive-through, and the car's all smoked out. They're like, "We want 400 cheeseburgers," or they kept saying like funny things in it, and I just was dying laughing. And then they pull off real quick and run over a girl passing by on a bicycle, right? And so the whole thing is like, don't smoke weed and drive or whatever. And so like. But I was laughing so hard, and then like all of a sudden this little girl gets killed, and I was the only one laughing in the theater, and it was one of those kind of moments where it was fun. I like those. Those are good. Those are good times.
Yeah, you love other people's pain. I know that.
I do. I search out for it. I have to watch one of those. Remember those beheading videos back in the day, and like I have to watch those, on a daily basis, just to.
It's like what was those websites?
Hard.
Oh God, I actually watched one. Like I saw, like y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like, and then so like I saw that for the one time. Like I didn't watch it all the way through the video, and it was like as soon as I realized, like, holy crap, that's real. I had to turn it off, and I refuse to watch anything like that anymore. Like if it says it's even remotely like that, I don't even care if I don't want to see it.
I blocked Orzum.net or .com or whatever it was from my IP list after like 10 seconds of one of those videos. Somebody sent me the link. They're like, "Check this out. This is gnarly." And I was like,
that's what happened to me.
Click, watch. Wait, what is this? What is this kind of potato? Okay, there's no. That scars your soul. That's like, like everybody growing up at some point. Well, not everybody, because some people have sanity and brains, but it's like the
some people.
Yeah, it's, you think like everybody jokes about the donkey show, right? But I've
until you've actually been to a donkey
God,
show.
I've never been to one, and so I can't say this for certain.
I hear you kind of feel sorry for the donkey.
But I'm willing to bet that that's one of those things that, like, once it's underway, you're like, oh no, there's no putting this back in the bag.
No, I can't undo this.
I shouldn't be witnessing this, and I shouldn't see this, and I like the expectation here versus the reality is just too harshly like it's going to leave a scar.
Yep.
Where
There's sometimes you just can't unsee something.
yeah.
That's why I don't go digging for stuff too. I made the mistake, broke up with a girlfriend one time and
Oh yeah.
happened to know the passwords because the password happened to be my name, and and like look at stuff, and then like you see and you're like, oh well, I really wish I hadn't saw that. That was not. This made everything much worse now. And I did it to myself.
Yeah.
If I didn't know, I would have never known, right?
Yeah.
But
Oh man. I it was a while back, and some old like high school girlfriend like looked me up and hit me up. Like everything had ended kind of badly. She hit me up, and I was just like, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't answer and just be like, hey, like just even to tell her like, look, I got a whole different life. I'm a whole different person. I don't have any like intention of like carrying this through at all. I'm just giving you the common courtesy to be like, fuck off and go back to where you came from. Like just disappear. I have no interest.
Yeah.
And so I got into like a small conversation where like it turned out like my best buddy from high school had like betrayed me with this chick and everything. And it was all sorts of like just gnarly stuff that I wish I would like. I was like, man, my instinct to shut this down at the gate was so correct.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen to that. And for that, I was like, just had to spend like a week of like old stuff getting churned up while I was just doing mundane things and thinking about, I can't believe that, like I should call that dude up and be like, what the F in hell, bro. But at the same time, it's like, what, let it all be in the past. Who cares?
Yeah, that stuff never works out. And I did the same thing. Like, got back with a high school sweetheart and thought all that, hey, it's 15 years later. Of course,
Yeah.
why wouldn't we be still compatible? And no. I forgot we weren't compatible the first time. So,
Right.
like it was one of those kind of things. So, yeah.
I don't know, the whole thing. It's just weird, man. Like now compared to being in high school and being like, my 40s now, it's just a weird, like my entire outlook on everything is so different.
Right.
It's so different. And telling that to me as a 17-year-old, I may have been, 17 or 18-year-old, I may have been like, yeah, I'll probably see things differently now, but I'll still love all my tattoos and blah, 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 whatever, like I had zero idea of what 40-some-year-old me would see, like the lens that me would be looking at the world through. You know what I mean? And that's just like, that's the folly of youth, right? Like it's all youth is wasted on the youth, they say, but it's true, man. There's no sight like hindsight.
No, there's foresight, but that's not very good. It's never good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
So we were supposed to watch a movie, but what was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Stevens hasn't been here in a couple of weeks, so we've lost control of the. I think Metropolis was our last one, right? Wasn't it? But I kind of forgotten about that. It was fantastic and sucked all at the same time.
Yeah, I'm looking at the spreadsheet now.
It
His last one, yeah.
The spreadsheet. You got to pull out the spreadsheet. We got to do the analytics on it. No, I remember that movie sucking. It was hard to get through. If I remember, it was very, very, very long. Even though it wasn't, I think it was only like, what was the runtime on that one there, Brandon? It was like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, something like that. But still,
it felt long. It was tough.
Yeah, it was really, really tough.
Yeah, it's funny. It's one of those films. Not to dig back into it, churn and burn it here, but it was funny because like it's one of those films that like being in VFX, everybody in VFX is like, oh, you haven't seen that? You have to see that. This is an important film to watch. And I'm kind of like on the fence about a lot of those films. In all honesty, you know what I mean? Like,
well, what would be a modern day important film like that be? Like, I mean, to me, like an important film, which might not be to other people, to cinematography, is things like Shrek.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yep. Well, but the thing is, you can't just watch Shrek and just like as a burgeoning or upcoming VFX artist, you can't just watch Shrek with no context other than you need to watch this and glean anything important from it. Like you need field notes along with the viewing to understand why it's important and what the importance is. Like I would say, in that realm, like Jurassic Park is a big one because that spurned a lot of the technology that we use day in and day out today, right? Like not at all in the form that it was then, but that gave birth to a lot of camera.
Well, yeah, it's all watching in the context,
yeah. And so you kind of need, like I said, the field notes for that stuff along with it for it to be useful. But in terms of like just avant-garde, change of guard in cinema, there's a handful of films that I think are probably important that have been made in the last what are we doing 10 20 years. I don't know, it's
last say 20 years, or
there's
even
always
it's all becoming so homogenized now though, right? Like I mean really what do you call an impactful movie now? It's kind of the same thing though. I mean, it really is. It's like being able to what really made Shrek to me an impactful movie. It was the very first time that they had really put an animated movie together, 3D animated movie, where you forgot that you're watching a 3D animated movie,
sure.
And it all became about the story and the beautiful story that it told and the characters and all of that, and you stop paying attention to the 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more of a believable. You were in a believable, environment almost. Not that it was real looking, but like, you loved being in that world. It seemed familiar, even though it was a cartoon. And they just did a really good job of really kind of tying it all together. But at the same time, it's contextual, right? Like it's seeing, like you said, like seeing Jurassic Park. I mean, that's another one that is very impactful in my life because that was the very first time I got to go to the movies by myself with like friends. We went and saw Jurassic Park, and I still remember it at the local movie, one screen movie theater that we had in town. Mm-hmm. Getting to go at like whatever it was, 12, 13, 14, whatever, how old I was. Yeah. And with all my
33,
buddies.
You were 33, Brian.
Well, I mean,
that came out. You were
also though, like there's digital cinema, but then there's also like this whole other genre of kind of B film, horror film type stuff that was around in the 80s through the early 90s, like all the Full Moon Entertainment stuff, Night of the Demons, those kind of films where it was all DIY in your garage, but it was kind of like the step before Stan Winston Studios, right? Like the guys that made those were like on their way to like working on T2 and doing the
USA
the
all
T1000,
night.
the T1000 effects and that kind of stuff. And so you had like these kind of like homegrown special effects and I guess I'd still say call it VFX artists working on that stuff back in the day, and it was a whole different world of production altogether. Like everything was caught in camera at that point, so it was all practical effects, and there was a lot of really cool, really interesting stuff. Like that's where I would say if we're going back far enough, like American Werewolf in London had some really incredible the transition sequence to the werewolf.
Dude, one thing that really shaped my from television, or well, not television, but I guess it was on HBO or wherever the hell it was on back in the day, was Mystery Science Theater 3000. Like being able to watch those old ass movies. I mean, it was all about listening to them laugh, but I really enjoyed watching those old ass sci-fi movies and how weird they were.
Just the pulp stuff, right?
Yeah, it was so strange, but they were that whole show. I loved it so much. Or I think it came on late night on. All I remember is we had this brown set top box that had like 10 buttons on it, and you had to go hit one of those buttons in order to get to that channel late night in order to watch it. So
yeah. It was so good. I used to have the little sticker on my TV before I went to school. I had the little sticker with the movie seats and everybody, Joel Hodgson and all those guys down there across the bottom of the TV. Because a lot of times me and my buddies or roommates, whichever, would just sit there. We'd turn down the volume on the TV and just riff on whatever show was happening. That was our idea of fun. But
that's awesome. That was a great show.
It was really good, man. This Island Earth. If anybody out there is watching this and wondering what the heck we're talking about, just look up MST3K This Island Earth.
Yeah, or Mitchell. Mitchell's another good one.
Yeah,
too.
Mitchell, and Manos.
Joe Don Baker.
Yeah,
Manos.
Manos, the Hands of Fate was. But there's this one part where this guy with a shaved head with a bald head comes walking around the corner, and they just make a race car noise. In this God, man, it kills me every single time. It's just like this perfectly placed.
It's like almost like surrealist humor.
Yeah. It's all the non sequitur stuff. That's kind of like there's a lot of a lot of it is like very highbrow. There's a lot of highbrow, like super meta jokes in there that you may or may not get. And when you get them, you're just like, wow, that was well thought out, well placed. And then there's a lot of course, there's dick and fart jokes, race car sounds for.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have those. It's just part of it, right?
There's no not having it. I don't think those. I think, yeah. If you want Batman, turn on BBC.
Well, that's what. So, like, that was the beauty of all of those old shows like that too, is because they were always striving to be something else, right? Like they were always striving to be this next level, but they were restricted by their, maybe their budget, their talent pool, whatever it may have been to get them to where they were trying to be. But that's what made them great, is they were really stretched to try to get there. But then we fell into a realm where it's like now they're just trying to make those movies, right? And you can't just make that the same way,
right?
With a big budget.
Yeah.
They try to, we really want the look and the feel of those, old Bloomhouse or whatever, and it's just like, well, that's not. Y'all are 7 times the budget of what they were, and it was literally like 7 guys working on it in a garage. Like, you have to kind of have that atmosphere to get that feel out of it, right? Like you can't really replicate that in a big studio.
Yeah, those guys made that stuff because more than likely one of them was a total pain to work with. But
sure.
But everybody fell into line behind that person and kind of let him call shots because
he knew what he was doing.
You know what? This guy's right. Like I trust. Like every time we fight, and I win, it comes out like crap. And every time he wins, it comes out and it's gold. Like you have those dynamics, man. And a lot of people got to figure out those dynamics and just let it go, and put down the ego and let the person who's right be right in that. And it's tough because it's subjective.
It's hard,
right?
Yeah.
You really do have to. And when you have those small teams and you got that synergy and those people have that stone rolling and it's going, man, whatever support they need to get to the end. That's how we end up with those great stories, instead of like everything is so rehashed all the time and it's rarely rehashed in a good way. Like
creativity's not fostered, right?
Yeah, just as an off the cuff example.
You think it can be? That's the whole point of AI, right? Like we can just make creativity.
Well, like oh brother, where art thou? Like you have certain directors that can kind of pull that stuff off, right? Like the Coen brothers repackaged the Iliad and put George Clooney and John Turturro and John.
Oh, apparently they say they didn't. That is all a coincidence, right? But I don't see that happening. It's too much of a coincidence.
That's not a coincidence that John Goodman plays a Cyclops Bible salesman. Like, come on. And the sirens turning what's his name into a toad.
I'm just saying I've read a thing where they said that it was a complete coincidence.
Well, that's good for them.
That's just the same as Pink Floyd and
watch it carefully.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. We're going to trigger this.
What was it? Pink Floyd and what? The Wizard of Oz?
Wizard of Oz, yeah. There's apparently a certain spot, right when the lion roars the third time or something, and you're supposed to start it.
Yep.
And it's supposed to sync up perfectly.
It syncs up pretty well. There's a lot.
There's a lot of places that it syncs up. I guess it doesn't sync up perfectly.
Yeah,
right?
I saw a video once. Someone was doing that with a bunch of different movies with the.
It's funny because when you sit down and watch it. I mean, I've been forced. Like, I've traversed a lot of different groups of friends throughout the years, and like every once in a while, I'll end up in a group of people where they're like, somebody's there and they're like, "You haven't seen this," and I'm not in a position where I'm like, I gotta go. You guys have seen this too many times.
I can't do this again.
I believe it and I don't care. But the funny thing about it is that for me, it's like it'll line up and you're like, whoa, and then it kind of goes out of sync and you start wondering.
Then it comes back. Yeah.
You start wondering, you're like, is this really like, and then it comes just back right on the head and you're like, okay, that can't be
Yeah.
That can't just be like a coincidence, you know. But I think Pink Floyd kind of jam band their way through it while it was playing, and kind of, you know, as jazz goes, it went in pulses.
I think someone just really like stoned off their face on mushrooms just happened to figure that out one day.
That's more astonishing to me, that those chances of someone getting high, having that movie,
and just having to play at the same time.
Just happen to have the in sync.
Hey man, we're gonna listen to Pink Floyd and watch Wizard of Oz.
I mean,
and then all of a sudden it just happened to work out.
Yeah, well, right. And imagine, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, it's one of those things you watch, and the way it lines up, the things that line up, like when money starts and certain other
clocks when the monkeys are going or whatever, like all
the sounds that are going on versus I think it's some sort of old fashioned Easter egg that is maybe just kind of,
they're just taking it to the grave.
I love when the stoners would be too, they'll go like, see, I fucking told you, and you're like, yeah, that's crazy, but then you're like, what is this solve? Like, what are you gonna?
It's stoner conspiracy.
Why don't we spend so much brain power on this?
Yeah. It's for the people that don't want to.
Have you ever looked at a dollar bill, man?
Right. There's a guy in the bushes.
Hey man, all this tells all of human history right here in this dollar bill.
Oh god, that's why it took me 7 years to get out of college. Is all those people.
That's why it took me 7 years to get out of King Supers.
Me and my buddy went to Red Rocks one time, and we were all messed up on some mushrooms and went to go like to King Supers to take a dump because we didn't like the bathrooms at the campgrounds are terrible. So it was like the closest place to go, and like we just went in there and destroyed it. And like our other friend was so high he forgot, and while we were gone so long, so he ended up. They had the big like garage door things in the front, but they didn't have any poles, so he just drove the car up into King Supa. We called it King Supa, but like and it was honking the horn and whatnot, and we had to because we're both sitting in there just we're giggling and whatnot because we're blowing it up, but like then it was like, why is there a car honking a horn inside the store? And we're like, oh shit. Because we're like, we left our friend tripping in the car, and we're like, oh no, we got running out there, and so we had to haul ass out of there. But
that's ultimate gnar. Ooh.
Yeah, that was a fun time. We ended up that same night. My buddy hucked his boombox off the mountain, and then like the next morning was all mad because like he couldn't find it. We're like, dude, you completely hucked it off the mountain. Like we were all listening to it. He had gone to bed or whatever. And we're all sitting around the campfire at the top of this little mountain listening to it. And I guess he got tired of the music, and he just got up and just grabbed the thing off the table and just hucked it off the mountain as far. And then we were like, all right, well, I guess the music's over, And he went right back to bed. And then the next morning, he's like, where the hell's my radio at? I'm like, you're the one that hucked it off the mountain. But it was a fun time. That's when we came up with the crap strap or the poop loop, like because we had to we decided to camp at the top of the mountain, but the bathroom was way down at the bottom, and so like going to the bathroom and like walking back up the mountain was just terrible. So you had to learn how to grab a tree and do all that, and so that's why we were talking about taking some backpack straps and making a loop. But I see some asshole came up with the crap strap and he put it on Shark Tank. I think he got
I'm gonna Google this right now.
Yeah, and it definitely wasn't one of the people in our group because it's like an old man that came up with it. But
he's like, we used to shit in our hands and rub it on our
well,
face.
He's got like a little cup holder. He's got a little toilet paper holder. It's called the crap strap.
Man, you could just wow. Boy,
it's a brilliant idea. We came up with it a long time ago. If we'd have Etsy'd that son of a bitch back then, we'd have been millionaires. But instead,
the crap strap. I'd have found a word that rhymed with repel. Personally,
hey, we were tossing up crap strap and poop loop, but we couldn't. Apparently, crap strap was the winner with this guy.
That is I love the fact that it comes in like Treyland camo too.
Which doesn't make any sense. You're not going to want to lose that.
Sucker needs to be blaze orange, man.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that.
You don't want to drop that down in the weeds and have it just go off.
How can you tell if it's dirty?
Yeah. Well.
Hey, you're going
the original WebMD right here.
Actually, we need some. Can we get some deep fried pixels branded crap straps?
I don't see why not.
And that'd be one of our
Nice
our
crunchy.
first pieces of merch.
Yeah, it'd be like a little orange SOS pad material.
I think we can pull this
like
off.
a scrub daddy or a scrub mommy.
Take a swipe and give a wipe.
I just thought about you don't want to use a scrub daddy.
Boy, you want to get it in some hot water first. Get it nice and wet.
So make it nice soft.
It beats an ear of corn.
Oh Jesus!
Wow. I mean, look, I can see where an ear of corn would come in handy. You know, if you needed to. Better than nothing.
Yeah, you know, it's midsummer. It gets hot.
Do you huck that ear corn? What do you do with that ear corn after? Do you leave it there for the corn gods? Do you try to hide that ear corn?
I mean,
do you actually take it off the stalk first, or do you just back up to it?
Oh, you take it off. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
And you gotta pull the kernels off too.
Oh, really? I would have thought you would go in with kernels.
I've never used an ear of corn.
Just fucking Brian, dude.
Nice try trying to back me into that one.
I'm trying to get a false statement out of Zach here.
Don't
Like
listen
a witch
to
hunter.
Don't listen to him, Thomas.
Just go into complete detail of how to do it. But I've only been told. I've been told this is how you do it.
He just jumps up and gets an ear of corn. He's like, "This is how we do it, fellas."
He's currently like wiping all the corn cobs off his desk.
How it works is
Just scraping him off by the edge of his desk. Slowly.
how it works is like the scene in Dragonheart when the dragon pulls him through all the weeds. There.
Oh yeah.
Do y'all used to do that?
What
When
did
you
I call
put
it? The Dennis Quaid bush bidet. I think
gotta-
it's down in my notes.
Did you ever do that when you were kids? Trick one of the dumb kids into putting putting the piece of grass in their mouth and then yanking it out to get all the little black thing.
Yeah.
That's a classic early grade school
Never had that
bullying.
happen to me. Yeah, never had that.
No, I never had it happen to me, but I've damn sure done it.
I remember being a part of a group of kids that we all went out camping, like Boy Scout type thing, and we're like, "Hey, let's take this kid snipe hunting."
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, where you like go and you set up a trap and you trap that kid and everybody runs away. It was our version, and we ran and that kid let loose such a blood curdling scream that I felt too guilty for what we had done, and everybody's like, "No, no, no!" And I'm like, "I'm going back.
This is going to
I'm
get me in
going
trouble.
back for him, dude. He thinks he's gonna die. And he might hyperventilate, hurt himself. Like this is how like horrible horror movies start. Like I'm going back, and I got shunned from the group for going back on it. But I felt too
No, being a good
bad. I
guy.
couldn't let the dude. I couldn't let the dude scream like that. I was just like, damn, that's actually really mean. we picked two like a kid with too weak of a constitution. Like he needs to be like one of the mid-level kids that like maybe gets picked on every once in a while, but like
That was the moment in time that he became allergic to gluten.
Yeah, right. That kid, yeah, that poor dude.
Yeah, he's just riddled with allergies.
I don't know what happened to that kid. I never bothered to look him up or anything like that. But
He better remembers you.
he's a spacey kid. Yeah,
He's
sitting there,
shaking in the corner of a
smearing-
Starbucks, counting his medication.
yeah, smearing lipstick on his face, right? Scribbling my name into a bathroom stall somewhere along with the other kids.
Well, you got to buy.
I will find
If it's in Starbucks, you got to buy a coffee first. They're very
Yeah.
vigilant about that with their bathrooms.
Right.
Customers only. I gotta ask you guys. So y'all are from different parts of the country. I was talking about this with my wife today about how, because my daughter asked. We got the mail today. She got the mail, looked, and she got really excited because of the opportunity to save up to $400 this month with the value pack that came in the mail. Do you guys know what the value pack is?
Yeah, it's those coupons.
Right. So how long have I been getting the value? Like that's what I told her. I was like, I've been getting a value pack every week for my entire life. Right. So I wonder how much how much landfill is filled with value packs.
At least $400 a month.
I mean, how many people actually? Because we've all looked in it and gone like, oh look, $19.99 oil change. But how often do you really use those coupons? And how often do they just get tossed in the mail? Tossed in the trash?
It's a selective thing, right? Because you look at them, and I always look at them like, oh, this is a pretty good deal, but I don't use this.
Yeah, I don't have a dog to wash.
But yeah, it's weird. Like I throw them out usually, unless it's like I don't know, something I just.
Do they really make money? I imagine. I mean, like they've been around so long. I imagine it's kind of a hard sell. They probably because it's usually real local businesses, so it can't be that expensive.
I have never gotten a straight answer, and I've asked every single time I've had the opportunity. I fully believe that it is a subsidized thing, that the number subsidized versus the number spent are two greatly varying numbers, and somebody just walks away with a lot of money, and somebody else has a printing contract to launder money, and then they get all the local businesses tied up into it. I think it's just a freaking scheme, dude.
That's kind of how I was looking at it because I'm going like, there's no way it's profitable to print all this shit.
It's a way for local government to be corrupt, on a smaller scale, and just and get all the community tied into it so that they're completely excusable.
What is it? Local government that runs the value pack?
Well, locally it is, right. It has to be.
I don't know.
They're running ads for like larger chain stores, but they also run ads for the smaller things too.
Yeah, but they're not doing like municipality things. If they were run by the government, you think if we have like, hey, there's a concert in downtown or whatever on the 4th, or they would have those kind of things in there.
I mean, maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is at a larger scale then, because we have the value pack that we get, but we also have these little. I've caught the guys like twice, and I've screamed them out like, "Stop delivering my fucking house, man!" It's a little like shopper type deal that comes in just this really thin little blue plastic bag.
Oh God, I hate those.
No matter, there's no way to.
I've thrown them back at them. Like I don't get them now, but I know what you're talking about.
Male herpes. It is male herpes. Like
you just throw them in your driveway, and then they stick to your driveway or something. Yeah. They don't always put them in the bag.
I don't want this. I don't read these. I don't.
Everybody's got herpes, right?
Just like, let me set up a bin. Let me set up a bin at the end of my driveway.
He's trying to rig it.
Just throw it in there because I'm putting it in the recycling anyhow. Like you were literally just waste. You're just making trash and giving me trash to throw away. Like,
it's like trash, by the way. I'm even getting frustrated with like I'm a member of VES, right? And so like part of being a member of VES is you get a membership to Variety magazine.
Oh yeah.
You get this. I mean, it's still a hefty, big, large magazine that you get every week, which I thought was really cool for a minute. Until now, I have all these fucking magazines, and it's just like I can't. You remember back in the day, like we just had like, oh God, I had so many. I'd like pack up my magazines and move them when I moved, right? Like I don't know why I kept so many magazines, but like so many magazines back in the day.
I finally.
But I just can't do it. I can't do it anymore. Like I can't. I don't even want anything to do with them, and they're so expensive. I bought one the other day when I was at the airport, and I don't remember how much. It was like $15
for a
magazine. I had a whole bunch of Cinefex. I had like subscription to Cinefex forever, and I'd get that, and then I had this like gigantic tubs full of Cinefex magazines. And at a certain point, I was just like, why am I carrying these around anymore? Like this is like grief that I suffered as
I hope to sell on eBay one day.
And those were like never. Yeah, those were. I'm going to say something sacrilegious to the VFX industry. Cinefex sucked.
Well, yeah, it was just an advertisement for studios.
There was never anything substantial in there. If you worked in the industry, Cinefex was like, it was stuff to infuriate you, to read as part of a production after the fact and hear how the public facing component of it was spun. Just like,
dude, all it was an outlet.
That's not how we did.
Yeah, they wrote these half-ass articles, right, to support people buying ads for their studios and for their projects and for everything else. Because that was if you were going to start a studio and you were going to start a visual effects studio 15 years ago, your path is to put $50,000 to $100,000 into Cinefex ads and Variety magazine ads or whatever, saying like, "Hey, here's our new studio," and that's how you're going to get work.
Yeah. Well, and it was kind of something that happened like a little bit before the internet really, really took off too, right? Like Cinefex kind of gained its popularity that way. It was hung around after the fact.
I've taken many a shits and read a Cinefex.
Yeah. I remember doing I remember doing a bunch of work on a couple shows where like our work was getting a Cinefex like article and going around and around and around, like tweaking the images, and then having them be like, we went with something else. And the image that they used was just like lackluster compared to like, in terms of visual effects, like there was half the amount of visual effects in the picture that they ended up using because whoever at the company was just like, this is the picture I liked, and it had nothing to do with the production. So, or however it happened, man, I don't know. You know what I mean? It was always such a, every time I ever cracked open a Cinefex, I was always disappointed. And every time I ever had to deal with Cinefex, I always ended up.
It never had my name in it. It always made me mad.
It was a disappointment machine, man.
It never thanked me.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even that. It was just like,
it was completely that for me. It's always mad. All these people got all these thanks and accolades in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, son of a bitch. What are you going to do? I got to buy my ad.
Well,
Thank myself.
You gotta kiss it to the right people.
Yeah.
I
was never really good. I was never really good at that.
Yeah.
No,
I always wanted genuine accolade.
I can piss off the right people.
Oh man, with flying colors.
I can sell it that.
Yeah, I can definitely piss off some people.
No, I piss off the right people. Like for whatever reason, it's the person I shouldn't have pissed off. I tend to piss off. I don't mean to. I ran from the CEO of the company one time because I was drunk. It was like, "Hey, I'm so and so." I'm like, "Ah!" and then ran away. I'm probably not the best first impression.
On your interview, you're just like drunk shit. Ah! That man.
It was at a company party. It was at a company party. In my defense, we were there. It was at a bar too. Yeah, it was at a bar.
Parties are trouble, dude.
Yeah, it was at a bar. I'd had some fun. Didn't realize the CEO was there. That's fine.
Just meow and meow.
I had a Ride the Lightning. It was really funny. I was working somewhere once, and I had this Ride the Lightning T-shirt that I wore for years. That I loved. And this dude's walking down the road while I'm working. I'm talking to somebody, and he's like, "Metallica, yeah!" And he does like this crazy whole thing, and I just looked at him, and I was like, yeah, whatever, bro." And that was the director.
You gave him the cold shoulder.
So I turned around like, "Well, we're not gonna talk after that type of thing." Just totally shined him on, and he and I ended up getting on fine.
He had to recover from that part though.
Yeah, I was like, "Man, I'm sorry, dude." That was.
He just throws his foot up on your desk and puts his crotch in your face.
I got some bad Chipotle for lunch that day, and I was just.
Yeah, those are great moments to watch, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm full of them, man.
I'm full of them.
That's just me, just one big walking faux pas. My mouth moves at a rate that my brain doesn't keep up with.
Yeah, the only buffer between my brain and my mouth is my foot.
Yeah.
It's got a permanent parking spot in my mouth.
Jesus, dude.
I'm always putting my foot in my mouth.
I'm
the worst at making fun of situations. Like I love making fun of situations, right? I like to find the humor in things. I love even taking, probably moments I shouldn't make light of. I try to make light of sometimes, or make laugh in a moment where you probably shouldn't. But like, there's been plenty of times where that's completely backfired on me. Like watching. I remember there's this Nature Valley commercial that's like this guy eating a granola bar, sitting on a mountain or whatever, and I'm like, what the fuck's this guy's problem? Like, who's these half-ass actor? Blah blah blah, and then ends up the guy's blind, right? And then I've told you my story about yelling at the deaf Uber driver at one time. So like it always ends up backfiring on me in these terrible ways. So like I find myself doing that a lot. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this person? Oh, they're Down syndrome. Or something, there's just...
You're just like,
I
thought he was just husky.
Yeah, damn it.
I thought he was just
I'm horrible.
Are you husky like me? You fan.
You husky like me?
I'm sorry. Here's a couple tickets to wrestling.
Hey, Eddie, money. Where are those tickets to? It better be paradise.
Is that your pickup line?
Right.
Wow.
I got 2 tickets to paradise.
Got 2 tickets to paradise.
baggy bags.
Oh God, I can't. If I had to do the dating scene and had to do like,
Dude, what a nightmare. What a utter fucking nightmare it would be right now.
I couldn't imagine like my age and like how goofy I am now and how like ill prepared I am for those kinds of situations.
You would meet some crazy fucking nutbag that just loves to get everything tattooed all the time.
Loves to get everything
has like 3 different kids.
Yeah.
I got Faith
They're
right
grown,
here.
though. They're grown.
I got Faith tattooed right here. Look,
Yeah, I got my ex-husband's name right here. I can't remove it.
that's his name. His name's Faith.
His name is Faith. He loves it. Listen, he was named after George Michael's song.
What a horror show, right? Just like for no matter what, like we're three dudes looking at it from that perspective, like I can't imagine like
Be single, get
me
a
ending
dog
up
and
like me ending up on the dating scene and being like, ladies, I'm available, and they're all just like,
Here I am.
left, no,
USDA approved 100% prime beef.
Oh
Who wants-
God.
who wants this bag of issues?
Have my own underwear.
It ships free if you order now.
I got nice luggage.
Yeah, right. God, man. But yeah, like on the other end of it, it's just like, what do you? Yeah, woo,
Dude, what if you make a bed? You remember those Jim Baker survival food buckets? you make a bed, a fucking frame out of those for your bed.
I would
And
have.
you take a girl home and you're trying to hide them, but it's just I bought too much.
If I found myself single in my late 40s, the first thing I'm doing is buying a waterbed.
Yeah.
What a sad life, man. God, that is just...
First thing I'm buying is all sorts of shit off of eBay. I'll be like, look,
I'm
not
going straight
looking-
to Temu.
I get it. Yeah, I buy all sorts of trinkety stuff that I need to get rid of, and that would be my hook. I'd be like, look, I'm looking for a lady that knows how to move stuff on eBay because I got this whole fucking shed here.
So many LED lights in my bedroom.
Let's start out there and see if a spark happens.
My bed just looks like a spaceship. There's so many LED lights.
I need a manager and somebody to change my diaper.
You think there's something other Fast and the Furious?
I'm looking for a mama. So if you got a few more kids, maybe they better be out of college, better be out of high school, because I'm pretty needy, and I got my need to be taken care of. I can't be sharing my mama with no other kids.
Yeah, I got a 135-inch projector screen on the kitchen wall playing
Just put
Fox
on.
News is always on there. It never turns off.
live Ted Nugent at all times.
Dude. Yeah, I would have a hard time not. I would torpedo my own ship constantly because I would just be me. But also I would. I don't think I could resist the urge to fucking troll everybody. I would just be like, look, you gotta find me.
That's why I love my wife so much. Is because like I get it. I'm a strong cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Like not everybody's cup.
Right. Same here, man.
You got to find somebody who matches your crazy.
Yeah. My wife does.
I'm like a pitcher of sweet tea.
Are you?
Almost too sweet.
You like that southern sweet tea, that real thick stuff?
Louisiana, yeah, it's basically just corn syrup.
It gets a little stuck in your throat. Yeah, you just feel it coat in your throat like some good tussin.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes
So
I watch
good.
my
It's
wife
so
just
good.
quietly while she's doing stuff, and I just think to myself, like, man, you've got to regret it every now and then.
Damn
You've
it.
gotta just like
I completely outkicked my coverage in it this
I
time.
can't. Yeah, like I can't help myself in the times that I am ultimately me, like regrettably. And how do you do it?
Yeah, but you're having this moment of insight as you're flapping the covers from farting when she's sleeping.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like just pillow down, tube through the pillow. Like if the choice is yours, you can suffocate and die, or you can eat this fart.
No, man, I love her too much, man. I got to give her a flap. I can't do that to her.
Yeah.
It can't come up through the air hole in between us. That's the worst. When you fart yourself in your sleep, you wake yourself up farting.
Yeah.
Dude, that is the worst.
It's a
That's
pretty rude wake up. That's for sure.
Yeah,
dogs will fart too, man. Those sons of bitches
yeah, they do.
just letting it. Whew.
Dude, dog farts are nasty. Cat farts, I've never, like, people have been like, oh man, my dog just farted. I'm like, that's bad. But when if you have a cat and that cat farts, dude, it smells like it's like roadkill farted.
Postpartum.
Just like getting
roadkill farts.
Like just
Or postmortem. I said postpartum.
Like death itself ate Jerusalem artichokes.
I
don't know if you know what Jerusalem artichokes are.
No.
It's a vegetable that it's in a lot of like different type of chips and weird health food stuff, and when you eat it, you will fart for the next 24 hours.
Wow.
Like I set a record personally for myself. My anus was open for like a solid 45 seconds at one point.
That reminds me, there's a place called Houston's. There's a restaurant called Houston's that has a roasted artichoke. And it is one of the greatest things I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Yum.
So, yeah, they have like a little garlic aioli you dip it in. It's pretty great.
Love
It's one of my wife and I's favorite places. Houston's, everyone. We'll do some sponsorship from Houston's. That'd be great. I think they had a big thing in Atlanta. The one we used to go to had some kind of thing in Atlanta. I remember there's some kind of racial thing there that happened, and they ended up closing it down. Meaning, like, some people got really mad, and I guess they got discriminated on, or I don't remember exactly what happened. But there was some kind of national news like thing with the restaurant there in Atlanta one time, and so they ended up closing it. Damn it,
man! Can't have anything nice. Can't just let people be racist.
Look, I just wanted an artichoke. Like, racism aside, whether or not the restaurant is racist or not, I don't know. I'm not making statements against them. Their artichokes are fire.
Right.
Brian has a TikTok where he does dedication farts to people who request them.
Oh,
he needs these artichokes.
Well, I do, yeah, and I'll eat certain things on request. I'll fart in a jar and send it to your loved one. It's like the glitter bricks. Remember those when you get those for a birthday? It's kind of the same thing. You can pick your different kind of every fart has its own beef to it, right? Like, so you can pick your profile, your flavor profile, and send it on.
That's how you got type 4 diabetes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
There's this one guy, and he just kept sending me cigarette tar. He just couldn't get enough of my bouquet.
I want you to eat 17 half-smoked American spirits and a can of beans.
and a couple of light bulbs.
Yeah, and some Vienna sausages, and call me before you do it.
Oh, yeah. I want to be on speaker. If I'm on speaker, you ain't getting paid. Just some camo print everything in his trailer. Just no shirt.
Dude, we laugh. Hey, look, we're sitting here making jokes about
what
this
a
shit.
wild premise.
But
there
are
fucking rich dude that's going around demanding I'm going to kill your family or I'm going to bankrupt you. Because
when you're ready, you let that sucker go, man. But you give me a count of 3, goddammit.
I got to get my pants down.
I need to know what's coming. I'll let you know.
Sitting there leaning in close. All right, man. I got my. Hold on. Let me turn it up a notch here. All right. I'm ready to go. Let her rip.
You got to have a cigarette. I was just about to say, let me light my cigarette.
Let her rip, Fred. Can I call you Fred? All right.
My name's Tom, but sure.
What's your name? Oh, I don't give a damn.
It's got it. It's all painted. It's all painted in my head, man. It's perfect.
I need you to wear this Ben Franklin mask. Don't ask questions.
After he's done, he just goes.
We're just describing. We are literally describing somebody's beheading video fantasy.
Yeah.
Like somebody's like, that would be awesome, man. And see that happen.
Somebody, hey,
they would be scarred for life.
This world is weird enough that someone just came to that conversation we just had.
Totally. Right. Them off to
it. They're gonna play this back over and over and edge to it all day tomorrow.
God, yeah. That's the day I figured out I was into.
God, where's Stevens? This would be the perfect time for him to interject with the road rage report.
He edges a lot.
Yeah, the road rage report would be perfect right now.
He's like always like, tell me once. He goes, if you touch me too hard, Brandon, I might come on you. And I was, sorry. So
yeah, there's a.
It's all the denim.
Right. Yeah. The Canadian tuxedo is an aphrodisiac.
It is, at least to pin up frustrations.
Well-known fact.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you can't wear a double denim and not want to fuck yourself.
We went. That reminded me. Just speaking of virility, we met. We were at some little kid's birthday party today, and
Oh God, what a segue!
Yeah, we ran into some lady who had 13 kids.
Wow.
And I was just like, I'm just gonna do the rough math here.
Lots of fuck trophies.
That is a long time you just been pregnant.
Well, she was smiling through the pain, wasn't she? Like she's just.
My wife was kind of like, this lady's like, she's like, I tried to be nice and talk to her. She doesn't really have much to say. I'm like, that lady's been shitting out babies for at least the last 20 years, man. Like she's probably hormonal.
You have any idea how many times she said no?
Can I tell you how long that is?
I'm just like, nothing you say can phase that woman. Be like,
that's 9 fucking years.
My two kids,
Almost 10.
blah blah blah, and this lady's like, I got 13 kids.
Jesus,
some shit, she's that dude in the trailer with no shirt on. I've seen some shit.
Yeah, when she has said, she's like,
you don't know what these eyes have seen.
Yes, Buckman, come and hurry up.
Shh.
Put another one in me first.
It's 4th of July, time to have another baby.
There's no way when you have that many kids that they don't fucking team up like Voltron and just wreck your shit from time to time. Like,
well, but like the 8th one, they're just walking out anyway.
It's 9.75 years.
I mean,
is that as fast as you can do it?
9.75 years of total pregnancy time, approximately. Is that what you're talking about?
You got there's got to be there's got to be a little bit of downtime. There's like at least a month afterwards where you're just it's not happening.
You're probably talking like 15 years then.
There's a lot of people, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people that do like the quote unquote Irish twins thing where like, she's got the placenta hanging out and the dude's getting in there getting busy.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine being like that ready to have another kid.
We gotta make our replacements.
Yeah, dude, I've seen it happen, man. It scars you as a man for a little while. It's like watching a wet dog come through the cat door.
I don't know. I was there for mine, and it didn't bother me too much, personally. But
I don't know. It'd make you erase that video you were doing.
What it did do for me was say, I'm gonna let me know when she's ready to jump back in again. Yeah, because I can't imagine.
I love my wife so much, but like when she was pregnant, and it was the funniest thing because like I didn't know, you don't know what to do. You're trying to help your dad. You're just the dumbass that got her in this situation, and
like water.
Yeah, you're supplementary here, right? Like you're just helping out, doing whatever the nurse tells you to do.
You can do it.
Oh, it was hilarious because the nurse would be like, she would just say something like, "I need you to put this mask on," and I'd be like, "They need you to put your mask on, honey," and she would fucking just get in my ass, and all I'm doing is just repeating what the nurse was saying, like, fuck you, what do you know? And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Poor thing, her epidural didn't work, so it was not it was one of those. So she was angry. There was nothing I could do about it.
Can't imagine, man. I can't imagine. That's just a whole different, like, I remember about halfway through the pregnancy, like, realizing, like, there's nothing I can do to help other than just sit here and be the punching bag if she needs it. Like, for me, it was easy. She did all the heavy lifting, like, the whole way through, right? To the end. It's like,
it was very strange for the doctors for her to be spanking your bare bum right there in the office, take out the frustrations.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We actually did both of ours. We did both of ours at home.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
I can imagine.
It's right. It's right for us. We explored doing the hospital thing, and neither of us really were just like, if something goes sideways on us, yeah, we'll go in.
We have one of the higher child mortality rates in the world, so
yeah.
Still, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was a
There's always a better one than we do.
Yeah. So we got we did all that stuff.
Did you have yourself a doula?
Yeah, we did. She was kind of worthless in my opinion. My wife thought so too. Like for our second one, I was there.
Oh, you're talking about rackets, man. There's so much money in the racket, the baby racket.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I mean, we got the midwife was worth every penny that we paid. She showed up and was kind of there both times. Showed up, she was there. I caught, so it was which is cool.
That's cool, man.
It was wild. Like
That's really cool, man. I bet everything just changed for you there, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
The record just went, and I was just like, okay.
You immediately pull out your pocket, a little tiny pipe. You go, you're a Mandt now. You got your corncob pipe, just like your papa.
Yeah. No, it was a wild, wild experience, man. Definitely one of the coolest things. Like every once in a while, I'd be just kind of like looking at my kids, both of them. They're just acting all crazy. I'm just like, man, I grabbed you out of there.
A tattoo of a rose magically appears on your forearm.
Yeah. But no, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like everybody, at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, like, as long as you have a nice little healthy kid, you know, at the end of it, it doesn't matter. Everybody does it differently. What's right for people is what's right for people, you know. But for us, it was pretty wild.
No, we were straight
definitely
up,
not for everybody.
Give us the drugs.
Yep.
Make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Natasha would be that way for sure. She'd be like, "No, I'm good. No drugs." She was just drug dealers.
Drugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm a big weenie when that comes to that too. Like I cried at the dentist not too recently ago. I'm not man enough to say because they caught me off guard. I've always, anytime I've ever had dental stuff, I've always gotten gas before they give you the shots in the mouth, and this place didn't do that. And so dude, my anxiety hit me so hard all of a sudden because it was like they were going to do the needles in the mouth thing, and that for whatever reason that's like my nightmare fuel. Mm-hmm. I don't know, and so yeah, when they give you gas, you really don't give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ha 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 ha, and they're, you know, putting it in you and you're done. But yeah, so I had to go into it blind, and you know, it was one of those where I'm gripping the chair and I'm like, just disregard any grunts or noises I make and just push through it. You know.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of different shots in my mouth like that, and only one time I remember it was like, usually it's not too bad. It's like a little bit of a pinch. It's kind of like it's gone over, and it's nice. But this one time, this guy gave me a shot, and he was like telling me, he's like, you know, I'm sorry, there's no way to really because they didn't give me any gas or anything like that. He was like, there's really no way to go through this other than to just kind of go through it. He's like, it might feel, people describe it as like lightning jumping across your jaw or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that was an understatement, dude. It felt like he gave my mouth the fucking electric chair.
Yeah. They get you right in like one of those right there.
Yeah.
From the inside. Oh.
Yeah, and he was just like, he's like pinching my cheek and like yanking my cheek, and I'm just like,
oh yes, they do.
A tear rolling down my face. I'm just like,
that's exactly how it was. I was just like, because she was like, "Are you okay?" Because I was literally like tears. I couldn't control it, right? Like I was just like crying, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine. Just do it." You know, like. And afterwards, I was like, "I'm sorry. I don't know what that's all about." Like, because I mean, straight up just bawling through my eyes. But it was like, But the next time I went, because they did like half my face, and then I had to go back and they did the other. The second time I was fine because I knew, I guess, going into it that, you know, what the situation was. It was like they caught me off guard that day because I thought, I'm gonna have the gas, it'll be fine. Well, I used to go to this place in Atlanta called Grateful Dental, and like their whole thing was free gas with every visit. They were the anxiety-free dentist, and so like even if you went for a cleaning, they gave you free gas.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember that because our old boss went to go. It goes there with them.
Yeah, they were like, they'd have like Bob Marley posters and Grateful Dead posters on the wall. They're playing like, you know, Widespread Panic.
He's like about to go in. He's like, let's do this.
Yeah, it was. They called it the anxiety-free dentist.
One for me, one for you.
He's like,
two for me,
one.
He's like that. Do y'all remember Cannonball Run?
Yeah,
the crazy doctor.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, that was. Yeah, it's like that dude. It was. I don't remember what that guy's name was, but he was really creepy looking.
That's too funny. Yeah. I got a root canal done recently, and it was like, I think about that lightning across my jaw thing. There's nothing like it. I got a root canal, and it was like a little bit. If anything, it was like they were waterboarding me because the person with the suction wasn't on it with the, like they had the water and they were like filling up everything, and it was kind of like I couldn't breathe really, and they were sitting in there with the drill and they're like, sit still, open your mouth wider, this and that. I'm like,
I get really self-conscious about where my tongue position is.
Yeah.
The whole time. I can't.
They're bitching at me about it. I'm like, man, knock me out then. Okay, if you're gonna be in my mouth for like 40 minutes doing shit, look, my tongue's getting restless. I need to talk. I need to
talk
do
a good 30 minutes.
No, this doesn't work this way. So it was like, you want give my tongue a sword and fight it. Winner takes all.
Do you remember what was that other show that was so ridiculous? It was where they did the upside down chins. It was like the
was that Wienerville?
Thumb Wars or whatever it was. Remember Thumb? It wasn't up to.
It was Wienerville. I'm pretty sure. Was Steve Bob Odenkirk or Steve?
It was Steve Odenkirk, but it was was that the name of it?
Wienerville.
Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Show.
No, that's not the same one. It's the different.
It was
the guy that did Jimmy Neutron and whatever. It's
Let's see. Well, there was Wienerville was one of them for sure.
I thought it was like called like Thumb War. They did like Thumb Wars where everybody was like a thumb or something. Is that what it was?
Syphil and Ollie. You remember Syphil and Ollie?
I don't.
There's a movie. There's a movie called Thumb Wars, 1999. That was like Star Wars but done with thumbs.
Yeah, that's what I was. I think I was what I'm talking about.
Cuticle. Yeah,
the Phantom Cuticle.
Yeah.
And they did a bunch of them.
Dang, there's Thumbtanic.
Yeah.
Thumb, Franken Thumb, the God Thumb. Yeah, they went to town with it, didn't they?
Oh, wow.
They did. That's what I mean. But it was really like actually. It's in 1999, and the visual effects in it are actually really good. Like the tracking and the thought of how to. I always thought they did a fantastic job of that. That was another show that's like, it's so dumb, but it's literally all visual effects on every single shot. But it's it was that looking back on it had to have been one of those things that like really like sold visual effects to me. That's something I wanted to do because it's like it was so creative back then. 2000, 99, whenever it was.
It was like Kung Pao. That's another one of the movies.
Yeah.
That I think was a must for VFX artists.
That's so good.
Must watch in context thing. The Enter the Fist.
I think it probably still holds up though. That was such a good movie.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of like rotoscoping and tracking and dubbing, and like most of it's pretty darn good. Like it's all it sits in there. It helps that it's old footage and beat up, but that probably made it a lot harder in a lot of ways too. Like people think you can just hide everything in grain and blurring and defocus.
Well, no, you got to get that shit out of there first before you can do stuff with it, right? Like that's the problem, especially with some of that really like. Working on Walking Dead was so hard. The grain was so heavy in Walking Dead. It was stupid. It was always so hard to deal with because when you're having to do all kind of blood work and paint stuff out and do it's difficult when you got all that grain in there because they shot all that on film.
Yep.
What's that? They have hard drives? They didn't have hard drives back then?
What's film?
It's so crazy.
Videotape?
It's so crazy to me that they got Frank Darabont for the first season, and it was so good, and then whatever happened, and they lost him.
Does anybody still watch it? Do you guys still watch it?
Oh no!
Is it still going?
I think so.
No. Well, the series, the original series, it's done.
Yeah, I gave up. I gave up on it at a certain point. I just quit watching. I was like,
I worked in the finale, but
this is now the boring dead. Yeah, I did skip and watch to the finale, but there was a big chunk in the middle there that I didn't. I read the comics for a while and was into it for a minute. It was pretty cool and entertaining, with the exception of season 2. Like after they lost Frank Darabont, and they just kicked the entire season waiting around on that farm. I was like, come on, you guys.
One of the most iconic visual effects shots that is one of also the most iconically worst ones. That God forbid, I know some of the people that worked on it, and they're dear friends of mine. But the whole CDC explosion thing.
One of the worst things I've ever seen.
Oh, my God. I cannot believe that made it to air.
Yeah, no hate on the artists because I know what kind of
I get it.
They had.
It was probably one of those last shots that were like, "Oh, we've decided to do this. We got like 4 days to work on it." And I get it, but it was
a lot of those.
I mean, Particle Illusion would have done a better job than what they did.
And the funny thing is like the technology at that point was you could do good explosions, you could do that stuff because I was doing it at that time. So it was like, okay, I guess they just didn't have a very good timeline on it.
Well, they tried to do some destruction on it, right? Like did some, they tried to, but it was
just looked like it was camera mapped, and then just some explosion or something. Which that works. That technique works totally for certain things, but like for Hero, they just have to do full CG replacement.
Oh, those poor bastards! Though they did all the first shows like for the longest time in After Effects.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how hard that was to get over some hurdles there. I mean, After Effects is great for certain things, but like. Like there's so many compositing tools that it doesn't have the ability to do as well as like a nuke, right? Like so, like I can't imagine how difficult it was to do certain things, especially a lot of the blood work and stuff that they would do. Being able to do some of that nuke with is really great. But
if you could pull a 3D camera out of something, you could do all sorts of nutty stuff in post in nuke. That you could do that in After Effects, but not without sacrificing.
It's not the same. The 3D in After Effects is just not. Yeah, it's not real 3D.
No, you can do. I've done before. Done the pulling geometry apart and rebuilding it to some degree in like Photoshop and pulling it back in After Effects, and then actually camera like reprojecting through the camera using lights.
So difficult.
All sorts of stuff. It's just
It's so difficult.
Once you get it set up, it's like the jankiest Jenga tower ever, and you're just like spend the rest of the time like carrying it. Like
you can get it to work, but adjusting it is just like a ripple effect of madness.
We better not get notes.
Oh damn it! I didn't pre-comp that. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare.
Oh, now I got to redo everything or whatever, and that's where it's like in in Nuke. It's so there's certain things you get to a level that it's so much easier to deal with than it is in After Effects with the layer based. But then again, at the same time, you just definitely don't want to do motion graphics in Nuke.
Yeah, I was gonna say After Effects is a great motion graphics tool. It's Photoshop, man. It's Photoshop with wheels. And it's not much more.
Oh, I live and die by it, man. I've been using it for 30 years, so it's I love that program.
Yeah, it certainly has its place, right? It's not like it's a useless thing. I mean, there's a lot of great work that people can do with it for sure.
I actually really like the noise stuff in After Effects. I know a lot of times I will generate noise patterns out of After Effects to pull into Nuke. To use as elements.
It does do some of that stuff good. The warp stabilizers and stuff like that. That shit's crazy. It's awesome.
Their roto brush thing they have is pretty cool.
Yeah, that stuff's really cool. You can pull some real fast stuff with it, but like, now that with the AI tools and Nuke, I mean, it's kind of basically the same kind of shit. But like they've been doing that basically in After Effects for a while, which I wish they had some of those kind of tools. I wish they had a few of those things that, and funny enough, with one of our old bosses that he was an After Effects guy too, and so we ended up having certain things built that we were just used like a rough and edges. Like that's not something they have and that's native in Nuke that like we recreated, but like you have no idea how much I used that. Just to break up the edges of something, put a noise pattern on an edge, and like, I wish they had some native tool that did that, but they don't. Yeah, I mean, there's ways to do it. You can just do it real quick with a few nodes, but like, it'd be cool to just one tool that you could just click a button and go like, make your edges, a noise pattern.
Just make a tool. What's it called in Nuke? A tool set.
Well, that's what's so cool about Nuke, right? Like, it just literally, if you needed that, and you're like, oh, okay, well, give me a few minutes, make a little tool, done. You can do that in After Effects, but it's not quite the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's never going to work the same. Not without a plugin. Like
After Effects, end of the day, you're doing a process set on in Nuke. I mean, in After Effects, it's just running through a process.
And After Effects you're just going to end up, if you're seriously using After Effects to any degree, you're going to end up relying on some sort of plugin tool set that's out there that somebody wrote to cut corners through.
After Effects is Blender for 3D.
Yeah.
Oh, but it does some things. Some of the plugins are so great. Like I did this one thing recently. It was like a period thing where like this guy's streaming a video in the late '90s or whatever, If I remember when a video would start playing and streaming, there was this very specific effect it did. I forget the name of it now.
It's like a
but
pan and scan sort of thing, right?
It kind of, but where it would like drag the pixels as it would as it's kind of buffering in. And so like if you had too much movement, it would drag a bunch of the pixels with it and maybe gray out some of the other ones, and to recreate that became just a giant challenge. Trying to do that, and then I found that there's an After Effects plugin, Pixel Sorter 3. It's like this is exactly what it does. You just, I think it was like $60. You get it, boom, done, out the door. So it was, there's so many times where if I can picture an effect and like figure out how to, what it's called or how to, search for it. There's somebody who's built an After Effects plugin to do it.
Totally.
I've been using Substance Designer a lot lately, just for because I'm doing a lot of game stuff now, so I just generate noises that way. And
humble brag.
Yeah, I gotta get a new job.
I'm a game guy.
No biggie.
No biggie. I'm a game guy now.
Just over here working on games, drinking lemon flavored water.
Me and my new game friends. We've got our own podcast. We've got 45 subscribers.
Yeah, way to piss on my parade.
No, congratulations, Deep Fried Pixels congratulates Brandon for his new role in the gaming industry. That's gonna be fun, man. I spent a little time there, and I wish I wish I'd have stayed.
Yeah, you guys sent me this last week, and I didn't realize it. I really appreciate the kind offer, but it was my own little Oscar you sent me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's nice.
See if I can cover up the company name, but yeah. So we got a little VFX warrior.
That's nice. That's nice. That's sweet. I'm
an Oscar winner.
Yeah, I see that. I held an Oscar once. I took my picture with it too.
Did you fucking use it to wipe your ass with?
No. He had a bucket of corn cobs.
Yeah. Please use the bucket of corn cobs. Where are the corn cobs?
Those are always my favorite. Those are always my favorite Facebook pictures. Is when somebody worked on something that won an Oscar. And it's like 4 people sitting there all holding the statue at once.
None of them actually going to get it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of laughing. Man, I mean that's
that's cool.
It's cool to it's a great achievement and everything, but it's also kind of just funny. Because
I got a friend that's got an Emmy, but it's got a big dent in it.
Yeah,
they dropped it.
They make you pay to keep the statue and all that stuff. You don't ever actually own it, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You have to pay a fee to keep it. What happens if you don't pay the fee? They come the Oscar repo guy comes.
Yeah, then you just don't keep it. You don't.
It's just some giant new dude named Jeff. It just is the Oscar repo dude.
Property of the Academy, and I mean, if you want to go up against the Hollywood mob and try to take it on, go for it.
He pulls up in a black SUV with purple lights,
and he he's just he has his own show on the
my boss
channel.
says that you got a statue that belongs to him.
He's been arrested 17 times for stolen valor.
They send Jesse Ventura to your house.
Yeah.
Look, I got 150 dogs in Baja Peninsula that know I'm the head honcho. And they haven't been
I'm going to need you to hand over the Oscar.
Please, Jesse, listen.
I'll statue.
I'll get the statue.
You owe us $214 or the Oscar's coming with me.
Sorry, I'm no Will Sasso.
Oh, I don't know why Will Sasso reminded me of it, but have you guys seen Tires?
Oh, dude, it's so good.
The movie Tires?
No, the show on Netflix, Tires.
Oh, no.
Shane.
Rubber is what I was thinking of.
Oh, Rubber, dude. Rubber's a fantastic show. But there's is it Shane Gillis. Gillis. He's got a new show on. You got to watch it this weekend, Zach. It's called
Zach,
Tires.
It's good.
You will love the show. I don't know your humor as well as Brandon does, but I think I got a feel for it at this point.
I like most of Shane Gillis's stuff. I'll give
Dude,
it a shot.
it is hilarious. It's so fucking good. It's way better than I thought it was going to be. The first episode, I'm like, okay, and then as I started watching it, but then it just got the franticness of it, and that other character, I don't remember who he is, but I love their chemistry together. It's so good.
Yeah.
Is it on? What's it on?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Okay, tires. Oh, I saw a trailer for this. Okay, yeah.
The trailer doesn't do it justice, man. Like you really just got to just watch it, and it is absolutely hilarious. I think it's only like 6 or 7 episodes. It's not a lot, not many episodes.
Yeah, me and Natasha watched it. It was pretty.
It looks like it'd be pretty good.
I laughed. I cried. I came a little. I mean,
just a little.
Dude,
Gave myself an over the pants handy.
Dude, he's so funny because he's just like, dude, you fucked her? Oh, for real? It's like he was talking about he's got stank on him, dude. He's got that stank on him now.
Oh, it's so good. It's just like the biggest dick dude in the room, right? Like it's just nothing but just testosterone pouring out of this dude at all times, and it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
So it's my recommendation to the DFP world of watch it this weekend. Watch it this weekend. Yeah. It's a good watch. Father's Day weekend watch. You guys got anything planned for Father's Day? Yeah, Father's Day Sunday.
Yep.
Well, happy Father's Day, guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to you guys too.
You as well.
Yeah, my wife's birthday tomorrow, then Father's Day.
Know what happened to me last Father's Day?
I'm going to a roll your own monster truck rally.
I'm actually driving down to the 7-Eleven that my dad went to when I was 14 and seeing if he's still there.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he never came home. He went out for cigarettes.
Jeez. Well, go to St. Louis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, St. Louis or was it Memphis?
No, St. Louis. St. Louis, home of the Arch.
Yeah.
Just the Arch. The Arch that never works. Have you ever been to the Arch?
I've been through it.
Oh. I've been to it twice. Like, actually been to the Arch. Both times it was not working.
Yeah, they didn't have the elevator was out of order.
I don't think it works. That's what I told my daughter that she's there visiting now, and I was like, well, don't even bother going down the Arch.
Yeah.
In high school, we used to do one of our senior trips was to dress in period piece and then get under the arch and then run forward as we're going to, I guess, settle the land or colonize it, I guess, you know. And we would do that.
Wow. That was
never
seemed weird for in Arkansas. What's in Arkansas?
I went to high school in Oklahoma, though. So.
Oh, okay.
We're the Sooners. The Sooners. You better watch out. We'll sneak over that border overnight. You won't see it. We'll have land staked out the next morning.
Now, did you move to you? So did you live in Oklahoma, or did you just go to city? Okay, I was gonna say I didn't know if you were
I was
busted
born
in
in Arkansas, and I got kicked out of school for like fighting and shit in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Well, I had to dox myself almost, guys. But no, in Fort Smith. So then I had to move to Oklahoma. Where my mom was living at the time to go to high school there, and then I went to high school and it all worked out there. So
I don't see you as a fighter.
yeah, no, I used to get in lots of fights, but it was like little stupid fights. It's high school fights,
it's
right?
high school fights, right? Like over stupid shit.
It was like
he got the anger.
I had a little friend that would get picked on, and so I was his like personal bodyguard sometimes.
Yeah.
He's my buddy, he was cool, but then it was like just stupid stuff, you know. You called so and so a name,
Oh, I'm gonna go beat you up.
yeah. Then you know.
I was one of the bigger kids, so I always got picked on by the littler kids. I never understood it, but I got in so many fights with people way smaller than me.
Big fatty, big foot.
It was ridiculous how many times I got into fights with like these small kids. Not small kids; they were in my grade, but like you know what I mean. Like it wasn't like I was fighting third graders.
It's like Eddie Hall when he's fighting those MMA fighters. You guys see that? It's just like Brian picking the guy up going.
Yeah.
I just saw that video. That was great where he fought the two dudes at one time and he just flung one and then just knocked him out.
Dude, just clossed him.
My favorite was always what are you gonna do? Sit on me? And I would always respond with, I'll make you fucking wish I had.
Yeah. Yeah, that I never understood it. And it was always those kind of fights too where it was like I knew that I could win this fight very easily, so I would never, really fight him. If that made sense, you know what I mean? It was more of a, shove you down into the ground and let you like make a fool of yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was weird how many times I would get challenged by these smaller individuals just because I was one of the bigger guys. I'm not a huge dude, but like
no, you're not.
In my high school, I wasn't a small guy either, so it was It was one of those things. And of course, growing up in the 90s and playing football, it was like you had fights every day out on the football field. That was just, it was like a sanctioned fight. Having to do bull in the ring and all those kind of crazy. I don't even know if they do that kind of stuff anymore. I bet they don't.
Probably not.
Did you guys play football?
Yeah, I play football.
Not for very long.
Jolly, did you do bull in the ring? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they put somebody in the center and everybody just kind of gathers around them, and then coaches walk around and tap somebody, and you run in and try and tackle the guy in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, we do that.
All you're trying to do is just clock them. You're just looking to clock them.
I mean, I bet like I'll probably have some form of CTE when I get older.
Yeah, right.
I've taken some big hits before, and I was a small guy on the team, and this was in the Southern Oklahoma, and it was like, fuck, dude, these guys are like fucking linebackers at the age of 14. It's like, dude.
Well, I was an offensive lineman.
For a couple of years. I was out.
We had a guy that he ended up going to playing at Georgia, right? Like he was a college prospect, really good, one of the better people in the whole state. Like he was real good. He was the defensive end I had to go up against every day, and it was like he kicked my ass every single day. Like he was just way better than me, right? But I was also the better, I think, of the I don't know why I went up against him every single day, but I did, right? I thought there were better offensive linemen because I felt embarrassed every single day I was going up against this dude. But it was like, I remember the one day that I was going up against somebody else and just whipping their ass. And then they were like, all right, well, get back in there, so-and-so. And because he was out for a minute and then got in there and just destroyed me over and over again, and it was like, I don't think they do that kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe they do, because how it is in the South and out in Oklahoma, Texas, all that. I mean, they take it.
Football's life.
Dude, yeah. They take it so serious.
Yeah, it was no joke. It was like just, I went and played basketball instead. I was like, I'm good. I don't play more football. I'm a pussy. You guys are just too big, man. Like, I was like, no.
I played football and I was in art. Yeah, I loved art. So that's all kind of art. I got more into art.
Yeah, me too. I have in high school, I got a little art pen a couple times. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go back to the room. Did you officially start your new gig? Are you already started?
Monday. Yeah, Monday.
This past Monday or this coming Monday?
This past Monday.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
They got you in over your head already, or are you just like learning new stuff, or is it kind of you already know what you're doing kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I've already worked with the team there before when I first started. So I worked in games for a little while, like 2 years. And so I knew these guys, and they brought me on. And I mean, like the Unreal stuff, like all the Niagara stuff is all pretty much pretty easy to figure out. And then, it's just like making effects and just doing it in real time now. They got this like training program there. They put everyone through just kind of like they have this pretty cool map where you go through and do different effects for these different things that are on the map, just to get yourself, acclimated, and they help you along to get questions. And it's pretty cool. I mean,
what's the different? Is there a different, like, with what you're doing with effects and stuff? Do you find there to be a different, like, theology or methodology that you have to wrap your mind around to kind of get done what you need to, that versus, doing it for film and whatnot?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's all just like, dude, it's all materials and textures. Like that's 90% of the effect half the time.
So you're kind of having to relearn how to do some of those. I mean, meaning like you've learned how to do it and make it look good on film. Is it kind of relearning a little bit how to do that so that it fits in a game a little differently?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's totally different process.
You got probably a much different box to work in, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the game, I guess, but yeah, it's definitely different types of stuff. Everything has to be pretty, optimized. It's funny for like, the last time I was in it was probably like 15, 14 years ago, and like I was telling them today, I was like, yeah, it's funny how little has changed and how much has changed. It's like it's almost the exact same stuff. I mean, it's the exact same core stuff in Unreal when it was then, and it's just like, okay, this like the way you do effects hasn't changed that much. There's some cool new tools and technologies, but it's like you're still using sprites, you're still using just meshes to spawn, and then doing whatever with the material essentially. You're
creating everything in Unreal, or are you porting things over?
Oh no, so we got like texture maps we'll make, or we have some preset texture maps and for certain type of effects. But yeah, I mean, most stuff that we get ported over is either like geometry I make in Houdini, or the package, or
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't know if you had to kind of like relearn how to do that and those
a
same
little
kind of
bit though.
things.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a learning curve. So because a lot of it happens in materials, so it's like you just have to be really clever with math and stuff and the materials. It's a lot more technical than a lot of people would think. It's kind of crazy technical, actually. It's like how much.
But you're good with that kind of stuff, so you would get at that though. So
Yeah, I'm getting the hang of it here. All the math is the same, so it's not math changes.
you're a mather. You math good. I've seen you do it. Yeah, I've seen you math. I show him off when we go out. That's he's my wingman. I'll be like, you seen this guy math?
Watch this. What's 10 plus 2?
Y'all won't believe this. Y'all won't believe this. Ask him any maths.
I'm just like, that one's too hard. Pass.
He's a real mathing son of a bitch.
He's 2% Asian. He showed me his ancestry. DNA. I am like 2% Asian too. It's funny.
Are you 2%? Huh?
Yeah, I think it's like not Asian. I think it's like middle.
It's
like,
not quite Asian. I'm like 2%.
It's like
I'm
more
2%,
like,
60% Asian.
Sub-Saharan Asian.
Yeah. I am
2% of me is 45% Asian.
5% Congolese. So hey,
Congolese.
I asked my buddy. I was like, can I say the N-word now? He's like, no, you're invited to the barbecue. Yeah, thanks.
That's good stuff. Well, I've completely forgotten at this point of the show what we do, and so therefore we're going to just do that there because we're getting to the end of the show. We really got to get better at the opening and closing of this thing. Outside of that, our viewership is way down. This is great.
We're doing it, guys. We're on to something here. We got
I
magic.
think we had like 5 people watch last time. It was great. So to those 5 people, we really appreciate you watching. Make sure you subscribe. Smash that like button.
Please smash the like button.
Please like it.
Please like it.
Yeah, if anybody would like to come to work for us and edit some videos and show us how to smash the like button ourselves, we'd be greatly appreciated. But outside that, this is Deep Fried Pixels for another week. What is this, episode 7, I think?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll try and get.
That's what you labeled it, so I'm hoping.
You know what? I think that's right. I'm going by according to my labels. We're at episode 7, so maybe next week we'll get the full gang back together and see what Stevens is from his road report. Check into his bag of cinema.
Lizard himself.
His old sack of cinema. We haven't heard from the sack of cinema in a couple
He
weeks.
sold it all for meth.
Yeah, he did. We're gonna see. He always comes back from the road with some prizes. So
He's like, well, I lost all my teeth, boy.
no, he wouldn't have lost them. He would have traded them for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met this jitsu. Look what I got for my
You
teeth.
can't blame him.
All right, everybody, have a good week. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Later.